Chapter 18, New Version Tea Tree. Why did he buy entangling vine seeds? Because he valued the entangling vine's rapid growth characteristic. He wanted to try if he could synthesize this characteristic of the entangling vine into the clear spirit tea seeds, thus producing clear spirit tea that could grow rapidly. He decided to give it a try. Lin Yuan placed one entangling vine seed and one clear spirit tea tree seed into the synthesis window. Synthesis window, entangling vine seed, plus clear spirit tea tree seed, equals. Ding, would you like to proceed with the synthesis? Confirmed. Ding, synthesis successful. Remaining synthesis attempts, 123. Appraisal technique. Item, unnamed plant seed, type, vine plant, grade, lower yellow tier, effect, to grow into an unknown type of spirit vine, capable of absorbing spiritual energy from the earth to condense spiritual crystals. What's this? Lin Yuan was bewildered. He had actually synthesized an unfamiliar type of spirit vine. Its effect was to absorb spiritual energy from the earth and condense it into spiritual crystals. Aren't spiritual crystals just like spirit stones? This plant was already akin to a micro-sized spiritual stone vein. Once discovered by someone, it would undoubtedly be seized by force, and he might even encounter danger because of it. Lin Yuan's mouth twitched slightly as he carefully stored away the seed, naming it Spirit Stone Vine. For now, he decided not to plant it, despite its low grade. If it had a good yield, mass cultivation of spirit stone vines could truly become a form of artificial spiritual mining. Moreover, it wouldn't require miners to dig, one could simply harvest them. Even more terrifying is that, when proliferating, the seeds of the spirit stone vine can be synthesized with others of its kind to produce even higher grade spirit stone vines. Wow! What a terrifying spiritual plant! Lin Yuan eagerly wants to acquire a piece of spiritual land to cultivate the spirit stone vine, his version of a money tree in the realm of cultivation. Unfortunately, despite his good courtyard, the territory still belongs to the sect. Once he leaves, someone else will inherit tea. Key property. Contemplating this, Lin Yuan once again takes out 2 seeds for synthesis. Ding. Synthesis successful. Remaining attempts, 122. Item, bitter mustard tea tree seed. Category, plant, grade, lower yellow grade. Effect, to grow into a bitter mustard tea tree, possessing the effect of refining the heart state slightly. Lin Yuan's eyes brightened. This tea tree was not bad. Cultivation in the realm of immortality emphasized the state of mind greatly, to the extent that there were corresponding levels. It's best for the state of mind to match one's cultivation realm. For instance, for the later stages of foundation building C. Cultivation, one should have a corresponding state of mind at the later stages of foundation building. If there isn't a suitable mental cultivation level, things will be fine under normal circumstances. However, during critical breakthroughs or when trapped in illusions, it could lead to significant trouble, even risking one's life. If the mental cultivation level is higher than the chi cultivation level, cultivation becomes much easier, and it helps break through bottlenecks in cultivation realms. This bitter mustard tea tree seed could be planted. Lin Yuan set it aside for now. Then Lin Yuan continued his synthesis. Falling flower vine seed. Descending fragrance vine seed. Returning spirit vine seed. Bitter mustard tea tree seed. Green mulberry tea tree seed. Finally, after the 6th synthesis, Lin Yuan obtained the tea tree seed he desired. Identification technique. Item, clear spirit tea tree seed. Type, plant, grade, lower tier yellow grade. Effect, can grow into a clear spirit tea tree. can use spiritual power to stimulate accelerated growth. Leaves have a slight effect on enhancing enlightenment. Success. Lin Yuan's face showed delight. This synthesis didn't alter the effect of the clear spirit tea, but it gained an additional feature of using spiritual power to accelerate growth. With this, the original 3 to 5 year growth period for the clear spirit tea tree could definitely be shortened. And with a continuous supply of clear spirit tea, it also meant an uninterrupted supply of enlightenment tea. He synthesized all of the clear spirit tea tree seed in one go 40 attempts. In the end, he synthesized 4 clear spirit tea tree seeds with accelerated growth characteristics, along with 6 bitter mustard tea tree seeds. As for the spirit stone vine, he only managed to synthesize 1, and it would probably be difficult to synthesize another. Then Lin Yuan used 6 bitter mustard tea seeds, and entangling vine for synthesis again. Unfortunately, he successfully synthesized 1 bitter mustard tree seed with accelerated growth characteristics. As for the other seeds, Lin Yuan no longer cared. He moved to the backyard. There was a spiritual field here, not large, only about 50 square meters, but it was enough to plant the clear spirit tea and bitter mustard tea trees he had. Lin Yuan planted 4 clear spirit tea tree seeds and 1 bitter mustard tea tree seed into the GRO UND. Then he cast spiritual rain technique. The level 5 spiritual rain moisturized the earth like milk. Observing with his spiritual awareness, the 5 seeds began to absorb the spiritual energy from the rain slightly. After observing for half an hour, he didn't see the seeds germinating. I thought the accelerated growth effect would be remarkable, but it seems to be different from what I imagined. Lin Yuan awkwardly scratched his chin in place. The entangling vine sprouted as soon as it touched the ground, giving him the illusion that the clear spirit tea tree would also sprout as soon as it touched the ground. Now it seemed that there was still some waiting to do. Shaking his head, Lin Yuan returned to the cultivation room to continue practicing his spells. 2 hours later, it was midnight. Lin Yuan returned to the backyard. To his surprise, both the clear spirit tea tree and the bitter mustard tea tree had sprouted. Tender shoots emerged from the spirit soil, looking very cute. Lin Yuan cautiously approached a shoot of the clear spirit tea tree, extending his finger to touch it. A bit of spiritual power radiated from his fingertip, coming into contact with the tender shoot. As the shoot touched the spiritual power, it immediately generated a weak suction force. Lin Yuan released control over the spiritual power. So, the tiny amount of spiritual power was absorbed by the tender shoot. The shoot grew slightly imperceptibly. Effective. Lin Yuan's joy was evident as he once again emitted a thread of spiritual power for the shoot to absorb. The tender shoot absorbed the spiritual power again, and it stretched a little more. Lin Yuan was patient. The appetite of the clear spirit tea shoot was not great at the moment. Supplying strand after strand of spiritual power, Lin Yuan's consumption of spiritual power was not recovering as fast as he would have liked. At this point, his rock-solid chi technique had reached the level 6 profound realm. If he meditated to restore spiritual power, with his supply of spiritual stones, he could replenish his spiritual power in just 2 minutes. Under Lin Yuan's watchful gaze, the tender shoot had grown 10 inches in height. At this height, the clear spirit tea sapling seemed to absorb spiritual power at a faster rate. Lin Yuan increased the supply accordingly. Half an hour later, Lin Yuan's spiritual power was depleted. Before him stood a sapling over 5 inches tall, elegantly standing tall. The more Lin Yuan looked at it, the more he liked it. Taking out a low-grade spiritual stone in each hand, Lin Yuan began to restore his spiritual power. After rapidly replenishing his spiritual power, he is releasing spiritual power to nurture the clear spirit tea sapling. Continuing this process for several rounds, when the saplings grew to a foot tall, they stopped absorbing spiritual power altogether. It seemed they couldn't take in any more. Lin Yuan then shifted his focus. He simultaneously released 4 strands of spiritual power for the other 4 saplings to absorb. This process repeated throughout the night. By the time he looked up, the red sun had quietly risen, casting its light on the morning clouds. Lowering his head to look at the 5 green saplings in the spiritual field, Lin Yuan smiled like an old farmer. Looking down at the 5 green saplings in the link, Lin Yuan smiled like an old farmer.